Welcome back to another one, guys. As y'all see, we got a new amp here, and it's not Skar Audio or Audio Pipe for once, or Gravity. We have a CT Sounds amp. This is going to go in the Tahoe because the Audio Pipe amp that I did have in there went out a long time ago. It went out like 5, 6 months ago, and I've just been driving around without no bass in there. But I did end up buying another amp off of someone, but that amp ended up not working, so it's still sitting in the Tahoe. But I think the 2,000 watts sitting in here somewhere. I'll show it at the end of the video. Hopefully we'll take it apart. I want to kind of see what happened in there, because it just literally, like, one day I wasn't even playing music or anything. It just like starts smoking out of nowhere. It literally just starts smoking out of nowhere. Wasn't playing no music. Didn't even have the music or the head unit turned on, and it just starts smoking. But further ado, we're gonna open this thing up. Come with two different types of stickers. Alright, might throw those stickers on. The CT Sounds handbook. This is used, y'all. This is not brand new. I got this for a good deal for it being used. I'll put the link down. It was only like 180 bucks. But yeah, this is what it's looking like. Honestly, it just needs to be wiped down, really. It really just needs to be wiped down, because I see this stuff like coming off of my fingers. Some of it is. Yeah, it really just needs to be wiped down. Maybe I'll wipe it down before I completely install it. But let's take it out. Oh, hold on. What's this? This is the bass knob right here. But you know, we won't be running this in there because we got the EQ in the Tahoe. This will just go on my collection of bass knobs. This video is not sponsored by CT Sounds either, by the way. I just bought this because I had some extra money and I finally want some bass back in the Tahoe. But let's check this side out first. This is all the controls. Protect power LED right there. That's where you plug the bass knob in. Input. Oh, you looks like you could bridge this amp, which is good news for me. But we got gain, low pass filter, subsonic, frequency, and boost, which I know I don't ever touch those last two right there. I don't ever touch those last two. So on this side, it says online it said it had 0 gauge inputs, and these actually do look like 0 gauge inputs. This is my first time ever experiencing anything CT Sounds, but here's the 0 gauge power and ground, and like 8 gauge remote, and then 8 gauge speaker terminals, which is good because I have 8 gauge wire for those 15s in there. But we're about to hook this up soon, and I'll show y'all what amp I have in the Tahoe sitting in there, because I honestly would like to get it fixed if there's somehow some way for me to get it fixed, because I do want to use it. But other than that, let's get to it. Alright, y'all, this is the amp that I ended up buying and it never worked. But as y'all see, it's the Teramps MD 5000.1. Yeah, it is a little beat up and stuff like that, but that all came from me from putting stuff in here, because I had to load a couple things in here, stuff like that, and the amps were in the way, taking up space. But that's all of this right here came from me. But other than that, it was actually in good looking condition. But yeah, I'll see if I can capture what it's doing for y'all. I'm not gonna bother hooking up the speakers back up to it, because I didn't want anything to happen to the subs. So I'm just gonna turn it on and see if I can get what it's doing. Alright guys, it's on right now. As y'all see, no problems. What I'm gonna do, it usually happens when I plug the RCA's in, so I'm gonna try to plug those in. I think I tucked them, yeah, back here behind the box. Let me get them out real quick. Alright guys, I have the music playing, but the mids and highs are powered off, so that way we don't get no copyright or anything. But it's kind of not doing it now, but it does it randomly. Like, even without anything plugged in, it just randomly just goes into protect and then won't come out of protect. Sometimes it doesn't when you mess with the gain knob. Let me see. Alright, I'm gonna keep going, I have it turned all the way up right now. It's not doing it, which is kind of weird, but it always does it. But Hey, maybe one day I'll figure out what's wrong with this amp, but until then I'm about to put this CT Sounds amp in here and we're going to see what it sounds like. As soon as I put the camera down, it went straight into protect. But alright, there it is. Like I said, it just randomly goes into protect. No matter, like, even if I leave the gain all the way at 0, which that's what I had it at, after driving around for so long, it'll just go into protect for no odd reason. And the other amp right there that I had, the 4-channel, doesn't have that issue at all. So nor did I have the issue with the audio pipe amp that I had in here before that. So we're going to take this out. Hopefully at some point I'll be able to find some way to get this fixed, but let's shut the truck down and get the new amp in. guys, as y'all seen, got it all hooked up now, but I just remembered we're not done yet. I have to rewire the subs because I thought the problem was my impedance with that other amp. I had wired them up, so it's at like 2.67 ohms, so got to rewire them, get it back down to 0.67 ohms, and then we'll be testing this and see how it sounds. So let's get that done. Alright, y'all, if y'all new to the channel, welcome. This is my Tahoe with the 3 SDR 15s in it, but yeah, that's what we have in here, 3 SDR 15s. I believe these are dual 4 ohms. I believe it's either dual 4 ohm or dual 2 ohm, one of the two. I'll show y'all once I pull them out of the box. I bought these a while ago and I can't remember, but it's time to get these things back moving and stuff. So I have to unhook or take all these out the box, unhook them, rewire them up, and then we'll get the sound after that. Alright guys, I got all 3 subs out. These are the SDRs. These are just the dual 4 ohm ones, but anyways, the way they were wired was basically an 8 ohm configuration across the board, but we're about to wire them down in 2 ohm configuration across the board. So I'm going to take and basically the way they were wired was 1 positive to 1 negative, and then right here you'll take your negative and your positive, and that will basically go to your amp. Sorry for the pause, the exhaust noise is distracting me for a second, but yeah, that's basically how you would wire that. But the way we're about to do it is positive to negative and positive to negative all the way around. So wait, I forget the final ohm impedance. I want to say it's like 0.67 ohms or something like that, or like 1.33, whatever it is. But like I said, we're about to get this all hooked up and we'll see how this sounds. Subs are back in and screwed down and rewired. Time to tune the amp, and then we'll see how this thing sounds, guys. We're getting closer and closer there. Alright, now y'all, we're now a month later since that last clip, and let me explain why we're a month later and what happened. So after I ended up getting the 15s all wired up and everything, they literally played for probably like after I tuned the amp, they played for probably like 2 songs, and then one of them went up in smoke. The voice coil burnt out in it. Don't know what happened. Only thing I could make sense of was pretty much the load for the speakers was at the 115 instead of the load being at the amp, meaning all the wires were basically connected together at one speaker instead of at the amp. And the only reason I did that was because I was limited on the amount of wire that I had. So only thing I can make sense of that is that speaker received most of the power that that was going through all 3 15s, and it ended up frying it pretty much. So I ended up saving up. I went and got 2 18s. As y'all know, I already had one that was in the back of the Altima, and I had one and ordered the second one right here. I had ordered that one maybe like a week or 2 ago. Got that. Then I went and got the wood, cut the wood, made this box here. I skipped the process of me making this box. Didn't want to show y'all all of that stuff, but here's the box here. Today I'm going to seal it. I have some caulking to do on the inside of it. I'm going to paint it, and I will show y'all that. And then hooking this up in the Tahoe and relocating the 4-channel, my fuse block back there, and relocating the CT sounds in. So we're going to be doing the rest of that, and then hearing how these 2 EVL 18s D2 sound in the Tahoe. This is my very first 218 build. This box is tuned to, I think, after displacement and after messing up on a lot of the wood, but we got it right. I think it's tuned to like 35 or 36 hertz, but that's good enough for me for now. I did originally build it. I did want it to be tuned to about, I think, like 31 or 32 hertz, but it came up higher because I ended up messing up on the port. So, but you know, we live and we learn over here. I'm not, you know, everyone else that's perfect at getting all this stuff at one time, and nor do I have unlimited amounts of money to keep messing things up, you know. So I know official at some point I do gotta learn to get better, but this is just what I'm dealing with right now. So, but yeah, I can't wait to hear how this thing's gonna sound. This is my very first double baffled box, so this is double baffled. I do have it double baffled. I did go out and buy a router and tried to round off the corners so I don't go too crazy with the sander like I usually do, and that actually kind of, you know, saved the box. Or I wouldn't say save the box, it makes it look better than what it did when I first got it done. But I'm really stoked to hear how this sounds. Just knock the yardstick down. But yeah, I'm about to go to the store, grab the paint and all the other supplies I need, and then when I come back, excuse me, just hiccup there, but here when I come back, we'll be painting this and throwing it in and seeing how this sounds. Alright y'all, before I show y'all the box, this is the paint that I went with, navy blue gloss. It's just Rust-Oleum, the cheap stuff from Walmart, but before I show y'all the box, that's the color. But now I'm about to show y'all the box. Right here, let me try to come from this side, the lighting's a lot better over here. But navy blue, this is just the first coat. Still have to go around and do second and third coat, or just I know as long as I keep spraying, the glossier it becomes. So I don't want it to be super glossy, but I know when I'm going to stop. But I'm probably gonna maybe put 3-4 coats on here. I have a few cans of paint, so, but this is what it's looking like so far. Alright now guys, I have relocated the amps and everything. You're going to be under the seat, and don't worry, I did check to make sure clearance wasn't going to mess me over or anything, so everything does fit. Everything's wired up. The only thing I need to do is put the box in here. I don't have no zip ties to clean up the wiring, so I'll have to buy some later on in the week, but I'm gonna just have to like try to crush the wires together. I really don't want to do that, but put them, like, basically sit them where they're going to be at. But here's the CT Sounds 2000 watts sitting right over here. Audio pipe 4-channel, my fuse blocks and relay in the middle. So yeah, let me get ready to wire up the box, clean the back out, throw the box in, and it's gonna be sound test time. We're getting very close. I can't wait to hear how this sounds. We're all finished now, y'all. Box is in, they're wired up. I tested them. Man, I'm not gonna play them for too long because they really will get me in trouble, because this thing is like super loud now. But let me show y'all real quick, and I'm only just gonna play bass. I'm not gonna have the mids and highs on. I'm gonna have those turned off. But I do need to find a better ground, and they can't share ground anymore, especially at this power level. But I'm gonna have to drill a hole here at some point and go down to the frame with these, but that's where both the amps are grounded at. And sometimes at higher levels, when it's hitting really hard, it knocks the mids and highs out. So, but like I said, we're not gonna have the mids and highs on, but it's time to hear how this thing sounds. I'm gonna turn it on, like I said, only bass. I'm only gonna have it, I'm gonna just have the windows cracked just a little bit. It hits really hard. Play, make sure the volume's right. Time to turn the bass up. Alright, well, let's see from the outside. That mirror's going kind of crazy right now, and it's not even hitting. want to play them for too long, but yeah, they definitely, I have a super big smile on my face right now. I'm not going to show y'all because my hair looking kind of crazy if y'all saw my reflection, but yeah, these, I don't know why I didn't been do this build, but this definitely has me very happy. 2 EVL D2 18s, wired at half ohm. I gotta upgrade the batteries and grounds and all of that stuff soon. That's coming in the next video in the Tahoe. I also have some lights and light bars sitting to the side for this. That's coming soon. Y'all gonna see me put all of that stuff on. But other than that, guys, I'll see y'all in the next video.